What's up, YouTube? Graylan Stewart here, virtual wholesaler and entrepreneur. This is another video that I'm going to go over how to actually get and guarantee that all your contracts that you send to sellers get signed. So my whole channel is all about the truth in wholesaling, not what the gurus teach you or what they want you to hear or what you might want to hear. I just tell you how it is, how we do it every single day in this business. I'm not here to sell a course or to be a coach or any of those kind of things. So a lot of times when you're watching gurus or different big YouTubers out there, I mean they're doing it to make a living off of coaching and that kind of thing. And I make a living off of wholesaling. So I'm telling you how it really works and how you can do it too. Okay. So today, like I said, I'm going to talk about how you can guarantee that your contracts actually get signed when you send them to sellers. So this is probably it's one of the biggest hurdles that my acquisition managers used to have. And even from the get-go, I've had this set up this way initially, and sometimes it's just a hard lesson for them to learn, because they always kind of think in their mind that it's going to be okay and maybe they know better or whatever it is, right? So I'm giving you this video just so you don't have to reinvent the wheel, so you can learn from others' mistakes or whatever. Learn from my acquisition manager's mistakes, really, because I've implemented this all along ever since I started in business when I was doing acquisitions myself. So, so let's just say, for example, let's walk through the process, okay? So my acquisition manager could be talking to a seller and they're real close on getting a deal, okay? So finally, after negotiations and calls or texts back and forth, several days or whatever, they finally come to an agreement, okay? Now let's just say, okay, yes, they're agreeing to sell their house for $50,000, for example. So what do you do next, right? So we're a virtual company. We don't ever go see a property. We don't have to have real eyes on it when we have the actual contract signed. All we need is a contract, okay? So how do we do that? Obviously, since we're virtual and we wholesale in markets we don't even live in, that's all done via DocuSign, okay? So DocuSign, if you don't know what that is, it's virtually just a contract system out there that allows you to email contracts, and it timestamps everything so it's all recorded to where it looks really legit, okay? And DocuSign's one of many that you can use. I think there's a hello sign, there's right signature, there's all kinds of things that you can use. We just happen to use DocuSign in my company because that integrates well into my Podio system and all the things that we use. So, so back to how the video is stated. How can you guarantee that you can actually get your contract signed 100% of the time? So really, here's what my acquisition managers want to do. Okay, and it's a struggle all the time, and I tell them over and over, like, do it the way I taught you, do it the way our SOPs teach you, our standard operating procedures, and you won't fail. Time after time they keep trying to do it their way or a way that they think will work out, and 9 times out of 10 it doesn't. Okay, so here's what happens. You agree to $50,000. The seller agrees to do that. Okay, so we send the DocuSign contract. You're like, okay, we're going to send you this agreement. Just sign it, date it. There's a couple of initials or whatever it is, right? And then, when you get home or whatever, just send it back to us, okay? That's the bottom line. We agreed on it. We both have this verbal agreement for $50,000. So I'm going to email you this contract over, and you just sign it and send it back, and we'll get it all started, right? Yeah, that sounds simple, and that sounds logical. And sure, you want to believe a seller that they're actually going to do that. But I'm telling you right now, they won't do it. Don't send the contract, okay? Don't send it just blindly. And I know there's different gurus out there that they'll teach you just to go make a ton of offers and send all kinds of contracts out there, right? And hopefully you'll get some of those back. And maybe you will. Maybe that works. I don't know. But in my experience, if you send a contract out to a seller after you have an agreement, they're usually not going to send it back just willfully. Keep in mind, we're dealing with distressed sellers, okay? A distressed seller is not right in their mind in one way, form, or fashion, okay? Whether they're going through a divorce, or they're really behind on their taxes, or they lost their job, or they're losing their house to auction because of foreclosure, or it's just in dire distress, a house that needs tons of repairs, and they're just not right in their right mind because of the situations that they're going through. Okay, so you always got to keep that in mind, because we're not dealing with the everyday person like you and me. Okay, we're dealing with a different type of people. They're not the same as you and I. So that's exactly why I even tell my acquisition managers, like, don't be afraid to make a phone call and have a conversation, because they're probably more scared of you than you are of them just talking on the phone, because they're just not in their right mind a lot of times, as far as whatever they're going through is what I mean. I mean, they're in their right mind as far as everyday life. They know what's happening, what's going on, but they're in a distressed situation of some sort. So they think a little differently. Okay, they're different than we are typically. Most people. Okay, so here's what happens. My acquisition managers will have the agreement, $50,000. Yes, I agree to sell my house for $50,000. Okay, great. I'm going to send you a DocuSign over right now, and all you have to do is click on it and click to sign it, and it'll send it back to us. Okay, sounds simple, and they're like, oh yeah, great. Okay, I'll do that right away. So anyways, so my acquisition manager will send that out, and then they're waiting. And then an hour or two later, they're texting them, hey, did you ever get that agreement? Blah, blah, blah. And then sometime they might say, oh, yeah, well, I was waiting until I got home from work, or waiting to get with my wife to make sure she can read it at the same time. All these things. There's all these excuses. Or worse yet, a lot of times this happens, they just straight ghost you after that, right? They're not even replying to you. Now they have your contract. So here's what they can do. Now they have your contract with your price on it. They can shop that around to other buyers now, and they do, trust me. So now they already know that, hey, $50,000, because there's other wholesalers or other companies out there that say, hey, we'll beat any offer on the table. You give me proof of what they're going to pay, and I'll give you more. Okay, so they show them, hey, this guy's going to give me $50,000. Will you give me 51? Of course they will. So now you know why they ghosted you, because they already sold their house to somebody else. We lost, right? So how does that help anybody? Because you think you know what you're doing by just sending it out there, you're not going to get it back. Trust me, probably I would really say this is pretty accurate as far as in my business goes. Maybe 20% of those contracts come back when they just blindly send it out there. Okay, we agreed on $50,000 on a verbal over the phone. Probably 20% of those actually come back, at least in a timely manner, without having to hound them forever or hunt them down and those kind of things. Okay, probably 20% of them actually come back the same day within this, the next few hours or so. So here's what you do. Okay, so you waited around just to hear this. The way you actually guarantee to get your contract signed is once you have a verbal, and keep in mind, do we have one signer or two? Okay, if there's two on the deed, you want both parties involved. Okay, so what you want to do, let's use one signer for example. Okay, Mr. Seller, so now that we have an agreement on $50,000, what I'm going to do is send you a DocuSign stating everything that we talked about. We're going to put X amount down for earnest money, and we're buying your property for $50,000, okay, and we'll close on X amount of days, whatever the case. So now what happens is I just need to send you this to get your signature, okay? So are you at a computer right now? No, I'm not at a computer. Oh, okay. Well, do you have access to your email on your cell phone? Oh, yeah, it comes on my cell phone, of course. So, okay, great. Can you pull your cell phone up for me? Yeah, well, let me put you on speaker. Or if they say no, like, well, can you put me on speaker? Maybe you can pull your email up, and I can talk you through it right now, okay? So the key is you want them to actually be at their computer or at their phone at the time that you send it. If you want a guaranteed contract to come back to you, do it while you're over the phone with them is the point, okay? So whatever you have to do. Oh yeah, I get home at 5 o'clock. Okay, great. Is it okay if I call you at 5:15? Gives you a little time to unwind after you get home, and then we can go over the agreement together and make sure your husband's there as well, so that he can get the signature done too. And we'll just do it all together. That way, I'll be on the phone just in case you have any questions. And keep in mind, when you send this, you already explained everything to them. You just send it while they're over the phone. Let them read through it, and they're just trying to figure out how to sign it, because that's all you care, and that's all they really care about. They just want to sign it. because they trusted what you said and what you're going to do. All they see is the number on there for 50,000, the earnest money that you said you would do, the closing that you said you would put, and that's really all they're looking at, and that's all they really care about. They want to get the money that you promised them. But the key is, if you want 100% guarantee that you actually get that contract back, wait until they are available. Like, don't rush into it. Sure, we're all busy and you want to get to the next seller and that kind of thing, but this is a matter of, do you want that $10,000 or $15,000 check, or are you going to chance and risk that check, kind of like throwing it in the wind and hoping it blows back to you someday? No, it's not going to happen. If you want a guaranteed sale and a guaranteed signature, get them on the phone. Say, hey, Mr. Seller, I called, it's 5:10. You said to call you back at 5:10. Are you available? Are you in front of your computer now? Yes, I am. Okay, great. I'm going to email this over to you right now. So let me know when you get it. Okay, I just sent it. Did you get it? Yeah, I see it. Okay, cool. Well, so all you got to do is click on that little signature button right there, and that's just going to sign for you. And then click the little button that says finish, and then it finishes and sends to me. Okay, now I'm going to sign it too. And then as soon as I sign it, it's going to go to your husband. So he's right there next to you. So I've already signed it now. Did your husband get it? Yeah, he got it. Okay, great. Do the same thing that you did. Click it, sign it, push finish, and then we get it. Okay? So that's a guaranteed sale. I mean, that's a guaranteed signature. That's how you do it. Trust me, my acquisition managers sometimes are hard-headed and they want to do it their way. But the thing is, this is my business. We're in this to make money. I want them to make money too, and we got to hold them accountable by doing things the way that we are teaching it. So we won't even allow, like, you can't send a contract out anymore unless you're on the phone with the seller, because we get those back 100% of the time. It's 20% of the time if they actually just send it out blindly. And a lot of times your sellers, they're smarter than they're leading on, and they're shopping that contract around to other buyers. Or they just straight ghost you and don't care anymore because they've got other things on their mind because they're distressed, right? They just don't remember it or don't care about it. It's not as big a deal at this very moment, even though they agreed on it. Just trust me when I say this. This is real life. This is what works for us every single day, and it will work for you too. So if you're not doing this already, implement this today, and it will help you, I promise. So that's all for today. That's how you get guaranteed 100% signature from a seller every single time. All right, so hope you like this content. Please like the video, share. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Obviously, my channel's still new. I've only been at it for about a month, so I would love your support. If you got any ideas on videos that you want to see, or how we do things, shoot me a comment. I'd love to do that for you or help you out. Also, just please like, subscribe, and share, and keep watching more content. We're going to upload, every 2 or 3 days. So watch out for the next video, and I'll see you then. Thanks a lot.